saying it is a work in progress.
David Pingree in the post-race press conference, not last week, the week before, had brought that up. Like, hey, Press, you didn't look good. And Chase said, you should have seen me 2 weeks ago. Straight up, you should have seen me 2 weeks ago. So
what I love
Throttle
is
guys, they got a good question in there, and it made sense, you know.
You see sometimes in a football game, say the quarterback yelling at the receiver or vice versa, and on the outside you're like, oh man, this unity, there's a big problem, the team is falling apart. And they'll tell you, we are just competitive people. I'm trying to get the best out of him. He's trying to get the best out of me. Of course, tempers are going to flare sometimes. That's what we've all signed up for. And I think when we hear about bad days, we assume this is starting to affect the chemistry. Maybe it did when Chase was younger in his early days with Honda, but I think he's matured, as you said, and the team is expecting this. And what we thought might be, oh, is this train coming off the tracks? They were like, no, this is the route we expected it to take.
Right. Yeah. Well, the route's looking good right now, especially for Red Bull KTM. Not so much for a bunch of other racers, and we're going to break that down when we come back on Race Day Live. Who has the most pressure and the most to lose in round 3?
Hey, what's up there?
Oh, I switched to H&R Block, doing my own taxes online. I was able to file free, and it was so easy to do on my own. So long, TurboTax.
You could file free and easily do your own taxes online with H&R Block.
Hey, old man, where'd you buy that monster hat?
What are you guys doing?
We're just trying to figure out who this old guy is.
You're asking the wrong question. It's not who he is, but how he got here.
Wow, no way. Okay, that didn't really just happen.
And that's how he got here.
Okay, I guess he's pretty cool. Yeah, for an old guy.
It's a big world out there. How do you choose to see it? When you crave the long canyons, rocky trails, rutted tracks, and lonely highways, they become a part of you. Podiums and personal records, we choose it all. Because life is about moving and feeling. It's about being connected to the adventure. Some just never pull the trigger. They keep waiting, wondering what it means to wander. It's a big world out there. You just need to ride where you belong.
Detroit is ready to rock the house again.
It's been 30 years!
Now they host the Bucks, who are hitting their stride at the perfect time. Bucks, Lions, the divisional round presented by Intuit TurboTax on NBC and Peacock.
SX. It's easy, free to play, and will add another level of excitement to any Supercross race day. Just sign up, make your picks, and watch the points roll in. With group play, grand prizes, and tons of weekly prizes, it's perfect for any Supercross fan. Be sure to get your picks in today at armfantasysx.com.
Welcome back to Race Day Live, presented by Rocky Mountain ATV MC. The number 31 with the red background looks good with those early 90s retro colors for our 50th anniversary race here in San Diego. Let's talk about what happened last week with the 250s. It was wild. The mud was out. Jordan Smith with a great start.
Yeah, Jordan rode just incredible. Obviously taking the points lead and getting the win. But I'll tell you what, out early, we were all talking about Joe Shimoda getting that heat win and being from Japan, riding in the mud all the time. And
that changed real quick.
Real quick on lap 1.
Yeah, Joe Shimoda getting stuck, cruising around, and there would be more trouble to come. Had to push his bike off. Not a good way to start round 2.
Just so unfortunate with not having a great Anaheim 1, getting a 4th. But tell you what, Jordan Smith, what a ride.
Wire to wire, the 31 pulls it off, picks up that red plate. Look at the happiness there between him and his team. There goes the old splasharoo, man, the belly flop in the rain. Look at that. Look at that number right there. 2,135 days between wins. That last win coming in Daytona. That was a long time ago.
That was a long time ago, almost 6 years. Like you said, getting a win in Daytona. But I'll tell you what, there wasn't a single person that wasn't happy for Jordan Smith. And I got a chance to catch up with him yesterday and got a lot of info from him. And check out what he had to say.
All right, Jordan, we're here at round 3 in San Diego, and you just got done riding press with that nice red plate behind you. How'd that feel?
It was good. It was a little heavier than the other plates. Yeah. No, I'm just kidding. But no, it's good. It's been a long time since I had the red, and I've only had it one time. It feels good to have it back on my bike again.
I want to take it back a little bit. This might be a little sore subject, but 2017, you go into Las Vegas with the points lead, with the red plate, you're leading by 1. Take us through the emotions of that night and obviously crashing out and kind of having it. You almost had that trophy in your hand, that championship trophy.
And another bite down. Is that Smith again? It is. There's Jordan Smith, the Alpine Stars medical team, helping him off.
You know, in 2017, I think that I maybe wasn't necessarily prepared for that moment mentally. You know, I had some good races in my career before that season. Didn't really have the best off season, wasn't riding that good, wasn't the fastest guy at the practice track, at the test track, was kind of just not really sure where I was going to fall into place, you know, and halfway through that season, I got my first win, backed it up with another win. Joey had a little mistake in the main, and I ended up leaving with the red plate. Going into Vegas, it was really tight. Like you said, I had a 1-point lead. Joey and Zach were tied behind me. A lot of pressure. I think pressure that, like I said, I wasn't necessarily prepared for. But I felt good in the moment. You know, just mistakes happen. They can catch you anytime, especially coming into a stadium at 60 miles an hour like we were.
This is the fastest section of the track, 60 miles an hour down through here. And he goes to scrub that single into the sand. And watch this, he goes down so hard.
Just planted that shoulder.
2,135 days, almost 6 years between your win in 2018 in Daytona and your win last weekend in San Francisco. I don't think there was anybody in the pits, in the whole industry, not happy for you. Does that make you proud? Does that make you feel like you've accomplished something not only on the track, but off the track?
It does. I think that, you know, I've tried throughout my career to be as nice as I can to fans, to other teams, you know, not try to burn any bridges. You know, I think every team that I've ever been on, I still have a really good relationship with pretty much everyone on the team, the owners especially. You know, that's something that my parents raised me to, you know, not burn bridges and to try and be nice to everyone, and that's, you know, a value that I've had.
You're obviously based in Florida during the week. You flew all the way across the country here. What was it like boarding the flight this time? Was it more pressure, or was there some relief of, all right, I finally got that win, I got the red plate? How'd you feel? On the flight coming in?
Yeah, I mean, no, I think there's a little bit of relief to, like, just finally, not necessarily the red plate, but just the win. It's been a long time since I won. I feel like it shouldn't have been so long, but it was. And yeah, it's a little bit of relief for that part, because as far as the red plate and stuff goes, that's the work we put in all off season was, you know, that was the goal, was to get the red plate and to keep it, finish with it. So that pressure's been there the whole time.
Awesome, man. Good luck this weekend in San Diego.
Thank you.
And he mentioned, he kind of joked it was heavy and the red plate's not heavy. What's your take on that?
Well, I think, you know, to Jordan's words, in 2017, he wasn't quite ready for that. You know, he mentioned preseason.
When he had it last.
A great preseason. When he had it last, and going into that final round in Las Vegas with a 1-point lead, that was a lot of pressure. And you know, he had a big crash. But I do feel like he's ready for it now. I think with all those trials and tribulations that he went through, all those 3 years of injuries, and I think he's ready to get it done. Obviously, a big night tonight. He's got to hold off some really talented guys in Levi Kitchen and RJ Hampshire. But I think you can really get it done. I think he's matured. He knows how to get it done. He started off at Anaheim 1 with a great result. Came in with a lot of pressure there. That team, you know, they hire you to win. And he came in, had a great result. was able to win in the mud. And I found it interesting. Bobby Reagan, the team owner, mentioned him before the race that, all right, we know you're not good in the mud. Just get through this one. And when you crash, just get up and pass as many guys as you can. So I wondered if that really motivated Jordan to get it done, and if he had a chat with Bobby after the race.
That's a rare thing from Bobby Reagan. That guy is win, 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 always win, never stop. And he said, Jordan, it's okay. And then Jordan goes ahead and wins it for the team.
Race, yeah.
That was a cool moment. I was impressed with that mostly. He mentioned that again in the post-race press conference, just how that pressure came off. And it didn't affect him either way, I think, because the pressure had to be on at A1 from Bobby Reagan and the Monster Energy Yamaha Star Racing team. And then he takes off, so he does really well with the pressure on in round 1, right? Gets on the podium, second place. Then the pressure's off in a mud race, and he wins it. So whether the pressure's on or the pressure's off, watch out for Jordan Smith this year.
Yeah, and that's why I asked that question of just getting on the flight. You know, typically during the week, after a win, you're just elated, you have a great week, but as soon as you get to the airport and board that flight, it's like, okay, now I'm on to the next race. Okay, was there more pressure or did you feel some relief? And it was good to hear that he kind of felt some relief or where he wants to be, and he's ready for it.
Well, I'm relieved we got Lee Diffie and Hall of Famer Ricky Carmichael. It is a Legends race here, the 50-year anniversary. Great to see you two here. And man, the rain started coming down. It's looking a little wet and wild out here again. Second week in a row, guys.
Yes, Dan, unfortunately, we're kind of talking a similar storyline. Not as dramatic as San Francisco, though, thankfully.
Yeah, well, and I think that this track can stand, is going to be able to withstand a little bit more rain. And what I mean by that is I don't believe that it's going to get as thick and as heavy as it was last week in San Francisco. I think it's going to get a little bit slippery. So what that means is I think the speeds will be a little bit higher than what we saw last week. With, in turn, the guys will be able to race a little bit more, and it won't be as much as survival and trying to keep it upright, and the bikes, like I said, won't be as heavy. So I'm excited for it. Now that I said that, it'll probably be an absolute quagmire, and this will be the heaviest dirt that we've seen in many, many years.
While we have a second to chat, of course, naturally so and rightfully so, the riders get all of the headlines. But in our broadcast last week, we didn't get the opportunity, I don't think, to say enough, or thanks or congratulations or acknowledgement to actually the crews,
yeah,
the mechanics and the crews in general, for everything else, all of the extra work they had to go through last weekend.
They are definitely the unsung heroes, 100%. All the crews, as you talked about, the mechanics. I mean, it is just, it's awful. It's just, it's a complete mess. We all know that. So great job to all the mechanics, the crew also, the members that just help, whether it's team managers, engineers, they're all getting there, getting dirty, getting down and dirty, and doing the best that they can, because it really is a team effort when it comes down to nights like that, and possibly what we are going to see tonight, no doubt.
And that includes our crew as
That's
well,
right.
and the Race Day Live crew. So for everybody, all of the production people that you never get to see, we owe them a debt of gratitude as well for slogging it out in some pretty tough conditions.
And they're helping us right now. We got some rain on the desk out here in the elements. It happens, and we're going to get a chance, guys, to thank him again next week, because it's happening again tonight. I want to talk 450s with you, Lee and Ricky. Chase Sexton, 7 points ahead. Should Ken Roczen and Eli Tomac and Cooper Webb be super worried right about now?
You go first.
Oh, you want me to go? You want
Either one.
I think that all of these guys, whether it's Eli Tomac, Ken Roczen, Cooper, Jet, all these guys should be concerned about every one of them. They are all capable of winning championships. I truly believe that. I don't think that any of these guys should favor one another. I do believe that they are all capable of winning champions. The graphic right here, Eli Tomac is a 2-time champ in Supercross. Cooper Webb is a 2-time champ in Supercross. I mean, the results this day and age, or where we're at.
He's feeling kind of more himself than he was this time last year, and that he gauges himself to be ready by February. Right. So he's building to be like at that top point by February. So he's still on the rise. So there's so much to look forward to in that regard.
Yeah, Cooper Webb said that he hasn't made a change to the motorcycle in 3 rounds. I mean, last week being in the mud, you wouldn't do too many changes as far as trying to get comfortable on a real track. But that just shows you how comfortable he is. We watched press day yesterday, and he was the last guy on there putting in laps. I know that the track was abbreviated, but still, that shows me that he's comfortable and that the want to win is there. So I'm excited to see what he'll be able to do. He seems like he has some great confidence. Looks like he's gotten his personal health looks to be really good just from his physical appearance, and every little bit counts at this level.
RC, I got a question about Coop. We'll stay on that, but you know, you mentioned possibly being ready by February, but there's this points implication, right? The first 2 rounds he had on paper, it's not been great. Look, he showed up at Anaheim and had tremendous speed.
Right.
Probably had a podium, threw it away, got 6th. But he's 18 points down now. So do you think this weekend in San Diego, because if he gets a full race down, starts to get some urgency, right? So do you think here in San Diego is a must-win for the 2?
It's not a must-win, but what I believe